Hi. Hello. This is the show opener. Hi. Yeah, Monday. Hi. Good morning, everybody. Yeah.
I can't see the chat, so hello to everybody that's in there.
Okay, the chat includes Bum Crack Pika, who says Carol was first today. Uh, and then he says, "Where's Mr. Sadie? I hope he doesn't find out that Carol was first." Then Sadie comes on and says, "I let you down, BP."
Todd, am I flashing
Uh,
my
no,
light?
you still got your clothes on, but yeah, your light's going bright, dim, bright, dim.
Okay. I don't know what's the cause of that.
It's 'cause the camera is facing toward that sun coming in the window,
I guess.
and it's reflecting off your ceiling fan.
Okay. How'd you know I had a
It's,
ceiling fan?
huh?
How'd you know I had a ceiling fan?
You just showed it.
Oh,
I
did I?
saw it. I seen it. I seen it. It's up there on your ceiling. I seen it.
Yeah. What do you said you had to go turn off your water for your lawn.
Yeah.
Don't you know there's people in California and Arizona that don't have water?
Yeah, dude.
Instead of, don't you know there's children in Africa that would love to have that bit of food?
Hmm. Yeah.
So
I
you
forget
bought a
who the
bunch.
comedian was. It's been like 30, 40 years ago. A comedian, a really chubby comedian, was saying, "Yeah, I got so big because Mom always told me you need to finish all the food on your plate because of the starving children in Africa." And so he started finishing everything on his plate and he got big. Anyway, ha ha ha. So, yeah, the
Are you going to keep the saddlebags, or are you going to
no, I'll sell them on. I don't need anything. I need a new office chair, but besides that,
well, go get you one?
well, I've got one picked out on Amazon. I just need to bite the bullet and do it. Except I keep finding other interesting things to spend my money on. Like in the auction yesterday, I bought 3 helmets. Two of
Military
them,
helmets?
yeah, 2 of them are kind of like modern army helmets,
Right.
and one of them is a German World War II helmet. So I don't know how well those will sell on eBay, but I plan to.
What else you get?
I got one of those fishtail Coca-Cola signs.
Right.
There's Sally. I
For a
thought you
minute.
weren't going to be here. You liar.
No,
There
I
you
just,
are.
I just, uh, I just have an appointment I have an appointment at 10, so I have to be there, a little bit earlier. So I don't want
Oh,
I don't want to cut it short because I'd have
Todd,
to
she was
probably stop the show at 30 minutes after, just get ready to go and go.
oh,
Todd, she
okay.
was just getting you in here to set it up. Then she's gonna come in
Yeah,
here.
that's why. Whatever.
Sally getting lazy on us.
Whatever you gotta tell yourselves to make yourselves feel better.
Are
Hey,
you?
it's Nikki's birthday today.
Yeah.
Nikki! She
Nikki,
probably
where
won't
you
come on
at?
the show. Who knows Nikki's
She's
birthday?
finally in the 40s.
Why are you screen sharing?
Because
Oh, it's cold there too, huh?
Tom was asking me what I got yesterday at the auction I was going to show.
Oh, nice.
So I bought one of these, kind of like that. It's called a fishtail Coca-Cola sign.
Nice.
So mine's metal. That looks like it's made out of plastic.
Yeah, is yours metal?
Yeah.
Hi, Maggie.
Mine's a little bit more like that one, I guess.
Mm.
I won't do the pickup for a couple of weeks because
He's got to sell some stuff.
yeah, the auction is letting me go 2 auctions at a time before doing a pickup because it's so far to drive.
I don't know if I could wait that long.
The gasoline prices. So I also got a German World War I helmet. Or World War II helmet, not World War One. Like,
What did you have going out today?
kind of like this one here.
I know you like ignoring me, but I'm not gonna stand
I'll
for it.
get to
Okay. Stop rushing me.
You don't like this.
It don't have the little pointy thing on top.
No, that's World War One. I don't think they use those in World War II, did they? They may have for ceremonies. But yeah.
Good job.
How old is World War II now? 80 years? Jeez.
Man. I sold a pair of earrings this morning for $22.
Good.
All the while, somebody was hassling me to take something other than GSP. And I'm like, no, they were in Israel. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't like doing that. I'm not going to do that because GSP has not done me wrong. So I'm going to continue doing GSP. I understand it's more expensive, but, and then they sent me a message and said, this is how much the shipping is with GSP. It was like $126. But,
is that including like import fees and all that stuff?
I don't know. And so as soon as they sent me that message saying this is what it is or whatever, I sold it to somebody in the States.
Well, see, that's just it. I've had this, I've had people dicking around with the daggum price on something, and then all of a sudden somebody buys it, and I'm like, oh, sorry, it just sold, and then they get all mad because we were in this, we were discussing the price on it, so
yeah,
I should have taken.
Maybe that gets you more. Maybe it gets you seen better or something when somebody's messaging you about it. Like it gives it more heat. I didn't even think about that.
But that's happened to me a couple of times. I even told this one person that I would accept an offer, but before I could go in there and change it, it's sold, and that really irritated that young lady.
I bet. No, and I just wrote that lady back because she was like having troubles looking at the item specifics, I guess, and so she was asking me questions, and I'm like, this item is sold. Thank you, Sally. I'm not mean about it, but it's like, come on.
I've I don't really accept offers because they might decide not to pay for a week. So I'll if I accept an offer on something, I'm willing to take that lesser price. So I go in and I change the price on the item on the listing. and, and I have sold stuff that people have accepted. It changed. I guess they're watching it or something, and
Do you
it
just have an overabundance of sales, or what?
do what?
Do you have an overabundance of sales?
No, if I sell one or two a day, that's about it.
Well, I don't know. I just think I just think I'm lucky to have somebody be able to see my item, send me an offer. If I can make some money on it, I'm selling that sucker.
Yeah, me too.
That's just the way I roll.
I forgot what it was. I think it was a Barbie something or other. Oh, I know what it was. It was a it was a miss and match of Barbie pumps. Like I had one blue one, I had one red one, and I had a pink one and a yellow one. Only had one. So
So
I
have you
sold
sold that since?
I sold those suckers for $9.95 plus $3 and something shipping. And
Hey,
the
Harry
guy that when he
Humstone
bought them,
is in the chat.
when I bought the guy that bought it said you should have priced that thing up about $15. And I'm like, your money cleared the bank, so I'm good. And I asked him what he was gonna do with mismatched shoes, and he says, "Well, I have the mate to it, or I have the mate to some of them." Who did you say was in the chat, Todd?
Harry Humstone. Cool.
I'm not familiar with that name.
He's big
How
reseller.
many did you sell this weekend, Todd?
I got 8 going out, which is kind of
I
low
have
average.
9.
Nanner. Except my average sales are $100 a piece.
Oh well, then
No,
you
not
beat
not
me.
really.
You beat me on price aspect. Then
Not really. I'm pulling your leg there, you little girl. I'm pulling your leg.
no, well, that's what you get for lying. Then you still lost.
Today is old man expression day. I'm just yanking your chain.
Mm,
Well, better than pulling her pigtails.
don't
No.
pull too hard. My head might come off.
That would be ugly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be much use without a head.
I watched that newer Doctor Strange movie on HBO Plus last night. And people's heads were going every which direction.
Dang.
Well, that's pretty.
I might can get some stuff done now because I've watched the Umbrella Academy 3. I finished up what's the one? Not the Polar Express. The one where the train is continuously moving. The world is covered with Snowpiercer.
um,
Snowpiercer. I saw that one, so maybe I'll get some work done now because I have nothing to watch on any of the channels. Because it works out pretty good. Sasha pays for Disney Plus. My
Harvest.
others, Vanya pays for um,
Why'd they ban that movie there? 24K.
HBO Max, so, and we have Netflix. So
I mean that. A lot of the nobody believes that any of the Marvel superhero stuff is real, but this movie took everything even further. I mean, it was just like, what? There's other. He goes through other dimensions and universes, and you're like,
right.
and there's one of everybody in every universe.
The multiverse.
Yeah, so it's like two of you can be in the same universe at the same time if you go through the special transit port thing, and you're like, this has gone too far.
Have you ever seen The Wand?
The wand,
The Wand.
the one,
Yeah. ONE.
oh, the
THE.
one,
The
not
Wand.
one. It's not one, it's one. You don't pronounce English too good, Tom.
The
Okay.
one.
One is
Okay.
like wonton soup.
The whole premise of that movie is that this guy is jumping from one multiverse to the other,
Mm.
because killing off all the other versions of the one, and it's kind of weird. But yeah, when they start time traveling in any of these shows, that just really goes to extremes.
You know what's really good? If you
What's
like
that?
superhero movies or shows, um, The Guys.
Is that good?
Yes, it's awesome. I
You
really
know,
like it.
I'm not a super big Star Wars fan. I like the original. I mean, I like the original three. Okay, um, but I like the new little subplot series they've been having. Like, there was the one with the little Yoda, and then there's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then there's the Mandalorian, which was the one with little Yoda, and then there was Boba Fett. I like them better than I do the movies. And I told a friend of mine that's a big Star Wars fan, and he's like, "You don't know what the hell you're talking about."
You don't. That's a
Mm.
lie. The movies are way better than the productions are just bigger and grander and like scenes in real live many parts of the world places.
Well, see, people like Sally don't remember, like, when the first Star Wars movie came out.
Yes, I do.
Do
Well,
you?
kind of. I
That was
remember it on TV.
What was that? 1977? How old were you, Sally?
One.
What? Oh yeah, you remember that one coming out.
yeah, and it was cutting edge technology. The special effects was amazing. Well, the special effect, and that's the reason it was so popular. The story was okay, but all the special effects with the lightsabers and whatnot. Um, I had a friend that went and saw it 37 times
Oh my
Police
god.
Academy.
in the first week, and I just was. I mean, it was. I liked it, but I was not like. He was like, "Go see it with me again." I am not paying $2.50 to go see that movie again.
Yeah, we were we were Tom and I were servers in the Last Supper. Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
24K.
That's right.
I served the hors d'oeuvres and Tom served the wine. Yeah.
And I was like, "And who will be getting the check?"
Give it to give it to Judas. He's the one carrying around the money. Oh,
I just want to know when Todd's going to take his lovely wife Gwen down to Florida and go stay at that Star Wars ship hotel, the one that's
hmm.
like $6,000 for 2 nights.
Yeah. No. We're trying to save up and go back to Europe this fall again.
Cool.
If Europe is open, I don't know.
Where
Probably
you
don't
want
want to
to go
get
to?
probably don't want to get too close to the Ukraine. I don't know. I
No.
think she's talking Scotland. Gotta
Well,
gotta get my kilt out of the closet and dust it off. Find my
shave them
bag.
old legs before you do and try to get some sun on.
Find
Oh my
my
god.
blue face paint and dress up like Braveheart, and yeah, they can take our freedom, but they cannot. Oh wait,
You
they
know,
can take our lives, but they cannot take our freedom.
a buddy
Oh,
of a buddy of mine was in the Air Force, and
Scotland is boring.
he was stationed in England for a while. And on a family vacation, he and his wife and their three kids went over to Scotland, and they were going to have photos made in kilts and whatnot. Anyway, somehow or another, his son ended up with a girl's kilt, so they're real short. And the the lady who was taking the photograph said, "Son, that's your sister's."
If you want to visit Scotland, just go to Canada. It's cheaper. 24K.
Well, if you go back to the UK, you need to pop over and see Buncrack.
Uh, he doesn't like me. He says he calls me Uncle Todd, but then he secretly, I know he despises Texans. But anyway.
Are
Oh,
you being discriminated against because you're a Texan?
yeah. I need to be. Yeah, we're kind of a minority, really. Texans. Yeah.
You're the biggest state in the union.
Yeah.
No, Alaska's bigger,
Yeah, but they don't count. Most of them are ice.
but you put all the Northeasterners like Carol together, and they get all in a group, and they come attack Texas, and we're just minorities.
Todd, if y'all going to take a big trip, y'all need to go to Australia.
Wow.
Yeah,
Lag
yeah,
has seen
yeah.
Braveheart. Can you believe that?
Who?
Lag. He hasn't seen anything, but he's seen Braveheart. That's
I
good.
haven't. I haven't seen Braveheart.
Oh my God, are you serious?
There he is.
Ugh, it's such a good movie.
It's just not my style. I just don't care for those kind of movies.
What?
Good movies?
Do what?
I said good movies.
You don't like good movies?
Not your
I
style.
just, I just don't particularly care for it.
You don't like medieval people dressing up and killing each other and stuff?
No, I had friends that were part of the Society for Creative Anachronisms. I think it was the SCA. That's where they dress up and beat each other with um, PVC pipe swords and stuff like that.
All right, I gotta go get my shoes on. I'll see you later. Have a good
Alrighty,
day.
bye bye.
Okay, bye, Sally. Have a good one. Yeah, the mooning. Yeah, that's all you remember.
What was that?
Oh, the British were all lined up on one side of a field, and the Scottish were on the other side of the field, lined up facing each other, fixing to fight. And all the Scottish men uh, turned their asses toward the British lines and lifted their kilts and showed their asses,
Okay.
shaking their asses at the British.
Good times. Good times.
That's what 24K remembers. Other guys' asses.
Okay. Where's
Uh,
24K at?
he's in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
He's like Aladdin. He's got a magic carpet and he rides camels around, and
He goes over to his big cave, and that's where he keeps all his jewelry and his gold and stuff at,
yeah,
like
he's got a
Aladdin's
cave.
cave.
Hmm.
I started to say Sim Sullivan, but that was Haji from John, from
Johnny
Johnny
Quest.
Quest.
I love Johnny Quest.
I did too,
That was
because
my favorite cartoon for a long time.
I was a little boy at that time when it first came out, and I just thought that would be the most amazing life to go to all those places and have all those adventures.
Yeah.
So what do you got on your agenda today?
Oh, let's see. Pack up my 8 orders and take them to the post office, and then I don't know, do some listing. Got to clean up the area here. The attic
Right,
entrance is right there,
right,
and we're getting that fiber optic internet cable brought in on
right.
Wednesday. So all this stuff right around here, I got to make room for them to get in here with a ladder, and um,
You getting AT&T?
no, it's an independent company called
Uh,
Pathway,
uh,
Pathways, something like that. So they're scheduled to come in on Wednesday. So I'm excited, man. I'm so sick of, I'll make a YouTube video, and in the back of my mind I'm thinking this video can't be more than like 8 or 10 minutes, or it's gonna, I have to wait until we're done using the internet in the evenings, and then I can start a video downloading. And some of the longer ones, they won't be finished downloadings by the time I get up in the morning. It's horrible. I think I've got like 7 megs of upload speed.
what type of network card do you have?
Card. I've
Yeah,
got a modem. What do you mean card?
the card that it goes from your modem to your computer.
I'm just hardwired to an Ethernet cord.
Yeah, okay. At one end of that Ethernet cord is the modem. On the
Yeah.
other end of it, it should be your computer.
Right.
Okay. Do you know
There's
what the
no.
speed is on that card where it plugs into the computer?
I don't know. It's just an Ethernet cord. What do you mean?
Because
Speed
there's 10, 100, 1000. You want a 1000 card.
card.
Yeah, it's because that cable acts like a daggum funnel. Okay. If it's not a big enough funnel, it restricts the flow. So you might supposed to get 500 upload speed, but you only gonna get about 150 because the
What's my
computer
cord say?
it won't say.
It's probably Cat 5 or Cat 6.
Yeah, but that's not the thing. It's the card on the back of it's your network card inside your computer.
Oh, I don't know. Hell. Anyway, with
That'll be cool. You should be able to hit it and go to the bathroom and come back and it be uploaded.
yeah, it's gonna be 500 megs.
Well, make sure he runs a speed test on it before he leaves.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's part of the installation they tested.
But
You'll pay $50 a month. That's about all this is. Mine
we have
is gonna be. I think it's exactly. I think it's well. I'm they made a deal with me for 2 years. I get $50 a month, and then at the end of the 2 years, they'll up it to $65 a month.
But what you do is you say, I've decided, I don't, you call them up to cancel it, and they'll send you over to the retention specialist, and you might get it for $45 a month.
And this pays $100 a month, and it's crappy. Yeah, my next door neighbor said, "Hey, would you look into getting this? Because if you sign up and tell them you learned it from us, then after you've been with them for 2 months, we get a free month." So sure.
Cool.
I said, "How's it working for you?" He said, "Oh God, you wouldn't believe it. It's just
We
like it's just
we
like crazy fast."
we have AT&T out front of our house, but we don't have them because we get our internet for free. So with a different company.
Da da da! Green
What's the
again.
yeah? What's the red one?
Uh, Boeing.
Oh, okay.
It does Dow Jones, Standard and Poor's, and then it starts in with big stocks like Apple, Boeing, and then it goes on.
Okay.
Most of them are green today. Boeing isn't, but
The those are regular stocks. You're not. That's not the crypto thing.
right. I don't do crypto.
You know,
Even Amazon is up. I bought some individual Amazon.
and I know there's a lot of people in your chat because you're the gold and silver guru when people come in there to get a morsel of knowledge. But they have crypto. I just couldn't get past the fact that you don't have anything to show for it. You know what I mean? It's just there out there in the interweb, and I just never could get too hyped up on it.
Well, it's the same way with a mutual fund. It's just out there on the interweb.
Yeah, but at least you have a portion of a company.
Well, that's true.
I mean, it's a small portion, but you still have a portion of it. I probably just don't understand it, and I will admit that I don't necessarily understand it completely. But there was a crap load of people that lost their butts during the .com collapse, and
Well, now those were companies.
yeah, but they were companies that didn't have anything. They didn't have a product or a physical product, or um, they were providing a service, and then everybody got into it, and then they were competing, and nobody could just maintain profits.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm just awful fond of dirt. Because they're not
Nothing
making
wrong
any.
with dirt except the maintenance and the taxes.
Yeah,
And dirt has gone up a lot the last several years. All real estate just took a big hike the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. Jeez.
well, see, the property in our area, around our area, has started dropping the prices of them. But in Mecklenburg County, it's staying pretty consistent because they have enacted this rule that does away with single family housing. Unless the land is restricted to subdividing or multifamily, or your HOA prohibits it, um, like on this house here, I could tear it down and I could put a triplex here. So that makes the dirt a lot worth, the dirt worth a lot more
Hmm.
because you can put three houses, or It's all based on how much space you have, and you got to have parking and all that type of stuff. So, um, but like I said, I've already checked. I could put a triplex here.
Yeah, 24K. If we'd gone back in time and sold all my mutual funds and bought into Exxon and British Petroleum and be rolling in it now, huh?
Yeah. I used to hang around while I bowled with him, and we went to high school together. He had a grandmother that lived over in Gastonia, and he, she got kind of to the point that she couldn't really manage her finances. I mean, she wasn't spending a lot of money, but she really didn't understand what she had. And my friend was a CPA, and she said she wanted to hire him to come over and help her get everything straightened out. And based on what she had been saying all these years, she was living Social Security check to Social Security check, and her husband's his retirement from one of the plants that closed up over there. So he got everything out, and she had like $7 million in Food Line stock. She had Food Line. Her husband had bought Food Line stock back when it first started issuing for like a quarter a share or something like that. And it had split so many times, and then they were bought, and then it split. She was sitting on like $7 million worth of stock, and she had little bank accounts everywhere that had like $200,000 in it. Because she would get a check and she just deposit it, and when she would hit the max on an account, she'd just go to another bank and open up another account. And he told her, he said, is there anything else you need to tell me? Do you have any more accounts? She had like 37 bank accounts, and they all had like $150,000 in it.
Good grief.
And he said, we really need to put this to better use. And so she ended up buying they ended up buying a couple of shopping centers and that kind of stuff.
Uh-oh.
What?
We turned red. Oh, well.
It'll be okay, Todd.
No, it won't, but
You'll
whatever.
still have your $40 million in there.
Mm-hmm.
And if push comes to shove, you can go out in the backyard and turn on that oil well.
Yep.
Because everybody in Texas has oil wells in your backyards.
Yep. Every house.
Now, how far are you away from Dallas? Or are you closer to Houston?
No, we're closer to Dallas.
Okay.
About 90 miles to the south side of Dallas.
Okay. So are you between Houston? I haven't ever looked. Are you between Houston or the coast and Dallas? Is that the side of that you're on?
You know where Austin is?
Yeah. It's way out there by itself.
Well, no, it's on a straight. Interstate 35 goes San Antonio, Austin, Waco, Dallas, Oklahoma City.
Okay.
Kind of a straight line there. And we're between Austin and Fort Worth, which is on the west side of 35.
I'm gonna tell you what, y'all got a screwed up airport out there.
In Dallas?
Yeah, DFW. I say that not because it's really a bad airport. It's just like unless you're used to it, that type of airport. Because I went skiing with some friends one time, and we were delayed coming to Dallas because of snow. And when we came off the airport, off the airplane, we were supposed to go like there's gate 1, and then 50 miles away is gate 58. We came in on gate 58, and they said, "Y'all leaving out on gate 3." And so we ran for a while. Then got on that train and went as far as it would go, and then got back off the train and ran. Had to run the rest of the way, which they said they were holding the flight for us. So, because there was like 20 of us, 25 of us. But
Yeah, it's a really long terminal. Or all there's like 5 terminals, A, B, C, D, and E,
yeah,
and all 5 of them are about the same length. It's a long set of terminals.
which Charlotte is headed in that direction too. I mean, they just keep adding on and adding on. It's been so long since I flew. I probably would get lost in it. And LAX is oh man, that's a crazy place over there. The So you got the helmets and the saddlebags. What else did you get?
Um, just I bought a sump pump.
So, is that for your use or for selling?
No, I'll resell it. I paid $25 for it, and it sells on eBay for like 125. About a manifold gauge set. I bought that Coke sign. I bought 2 army cots.
The canvas ones?
Uh, no, these are they're built just like the old wooden canvas ones,
Right,
but the framework is now tubular square tube aluminum,
right.
and the canvas is now nylon.
When I was a kid, we tent camped, and my dad had all those little army wooden cots. That's what we slept on.
Yeah.
He got them from somebody he knew because I grew up in Charleston and we had all the big bases there, and he knew somebody and they got them out of the unused stock area.
Hmm.
But man, you had to be a man to get those cots put together because they had the 2 boards that ran across each end of it to hold it in its shape, stretching that burlap. I mean that canvas. It was something else.
Yeah, I had to. You putting one of those cots together is impossible just to do on your arm strength. You have to watch the YouTube video to show how. You actually open it up. And you can go ahead and get 1 bar on one end, but then you can't stretch. You think that the canvas is shrunk or
Right,
something, but it's not. It's supposed to be tight. So what you do is you stand the cot up on one end, and you put on one of the bars on one end, and then you stand on the crossbar on the other end, and then you push against the cot with your body weight to lift it up high enough to get it in the slot that it's supposed to fit. Does that
That
make
sounds like it.
sense?
It does. That's the reason I go to the Holiday Inn.
I know. You have to use the length of the cot as leverage to get it to stretch that canvas out.
Okay.
You can't just grab a hold of the main part of the cot and grab that bar and pull it into the slot. Nobody's that strong.
Don't forget next Monday's July the 4th, so there won't be any mail running.
Yep.
And even though that really doesn't affect our foreign friends, it affects our foreign friends.
How long's America been around? What's that? Called 1776 to start.
Yeah. 150,
So
250,
two,
roughly.
2026 is the 250th. Be a lot of fireworks that day, I bet.
Yeah. I don't know. You know how things are right now.
So we're like at 240, 245 now. It's a pretty young country compared to like Germany or Great Britain or something.
Well, see, that's like when we went to Australia, it was like being in the United States, except they drive on the opposite side of the road and they have a weird accent. Okay. The architecture is just like the U.S. If you go up to the Great Barrier Reef, that up in that area, it's like Myrtle Beach. It's like from the North Carolina coast all the way through South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. That's what it looks like. Cinder block buildings. Now it's pretty, and the people were fantastic. They were really nice, but you don't see. It's not like when you all went to Europe and you saw a 800-year-old castle, or chapel or whatnot. It just didn't happen. Like I said, if y'all going to take a trip, that's where you need to go. Because you probably can fly to Sydney for the price of flying to London.
With all the school shootings, you won't have any kids left by 2030. That's not right.
I've said it before. My parents have my dad always had a pistol in the house. We knew where it was at. We also knew that if we touched it, he would take the skin off the back of our legs and butt. We didn't mess with it. And we knew where the rifle and the shotguns were. We never messed with them because we knew that he was not going to be happy. But that was back in the days when we only had two TV channels and we got outside and played and rode bicycles without helmets, and we had 10 mothers in the neighborhood because if one of my mom's friends saw us doing something we weren't supposed to be doing, if she needed to do some disciplinary action, she took care of it then, and my mom was like, okay, big deal. That's the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom was a stay-at-home mom too, so which most of the people that we lived around were stay-at-home moms too, because their husbands were civil servants. They were either in the military or they were working on the bases as a civil servant. So, and that's just not the way it is now. Everybody's working and latchkey kids and all that kind of mess.
Yeah, my mom didn't start back to work until I started school,
My mom,
so we were almost never home alone.
I didn't even know my mom had ever worked out of the house until we were talking one time. She said, I was a cashier at Dixie Home, which was the predecessor to Winn Dixie, the grocery chain. And then after my older brother was born, she just became a stay-at-home mom. And um, she never worked for anybody else. She went to work when my dad started his business, she did his books for years. But the office was at the end of the house. So when we came home from school, she was always there. So good memories. And
Yep.
these youngsters in the chat in the channel, like Mr. Sadie and Bumcrack and Maggie, they just don't know what those good times were.
I think Maggie probably does. Maggie's about my age, isn't she?
I didn't think she was 60 yet.
Yeah, I think so.
Cause you're going on 68.
Yeah, I'm going on 1,000.
There's days I get up and I'm like, will I make it through this day? Just because my joints ache and all those paw things. And
I do that, but kind of opposite. I start, I, s- I start running out of gas earlier and earlier and earlier in the day.
yeah, I'm ready to go to bed by 9 o'clock.
I used to, I used to go teach school all day and then go out running around to go out to eat or go country line dancing or something.
Boot scooting buggy.
Boot scooting boogie or and stay up till 11 and 11:30, 12, get up at 5:30 a.m. and do it all again.
Yeah. What was your core instrument when you were playing in band?
I'm a
Trumpet,
French
French
horn
horn.
player.
Did you go? I mean, is that what you started off as, or did you start as something else?
No, I've always been French horn.
Because when I was in band back in the dark ages, um, the French horn players played another instrument during marching season, and then they played French horn during concert season. And usually they were clarinet players. Did you did you ever play in a band? You know, not band as in high school band. I'm talking about band as like the boys in the neighborhood or down at the Possum Holler.
Uh, no, I
Did you
was
play? Did you played all of you played a lot of different instruments, right?
yeah, I was never any good at the string instruments like guitar or violin or um, any of that.
Right.
Any of that. I don't know. I could have been okay at them because I can read music, but I just would never sit down and practice them until I could get to where I could play one. And I never like took lessons on a string instrument, so
Did you ever teach private lessons?
I have taught some from time to time down through the years, but they're kind of a, I don't know. I didn't like the scheduling and the trying to
Right.
fit that in, doing that with trying to spend enough time being a band director.
You know,
If
our first chair trumpet player, Tony, he like during concert season when he would have all his medals on, he looked like he was a 12-star general. He had so many medals on the front of his jacket from where he'd won competitions and whatnot. His his parents, he had like I said, this would have been like 75, 76, 74, 75, 76 because we graduated in 76. He had like a $1,200 silver trumpet, was a lot of money back them days. And his parents paid for him to have private lessons and all this kind of mess. And when I saw him at our 10-year anniversary, I said, Tony, when was the last time you played your trumpet? He said, he said, you know, seniors seniors didn't play anymore after our spring concert because they were prepping for the next year, marching and whatnot. I said, yeah. He said, probably the last time I picked up my horn was when we played the final song at our spring concert. And I thought in my mind, your father must have spent a fortune on you. And that's just the way it is, you know? And I got to know the band director that replaced our band director. And he's like, that was kind of dying out. People weren't spending that kind of money on it unless they were going to become professional musicians. Bridget's up finally. I just saw a message pop up from her.
yeah, I I was never a studio guy. You know those professional players. They could go into a office studio and just practice for 2 or 3 hours, and I was like, I mean, day in and day out. I mean, to keep their craft honed,
Yeah,
yet they had to do that, and then go out for all the different gigs. I mean, my biggest gig was playing in the Amarillo Symphony. I did that a couple of seasons, and that was fun. They paid us a little bit, but
right.
um,
Well, see, we have Carowinds here, so a lot of the kids from the different bands they go play, and I guess they still have them. They used to have live shows where they would have an orchestra playing. I don't know whether they still do that or not, but they used to. But the kids would go try out to be in the Carowinds orchestra. One of the guys that I went to school with, he played 5 or 6 different instruments, and he went on to become a studio musician up in New York. And I saw him. I guess it was about 20 years after we graduated from high school, and we were talking about it. He said, I asked him if he ever toured with anybody, and he said he toured with, I don't remember who they were, playing keyboard. I said, when did you learn how to play the keyboard or piano or whatnot? He said, man, it don't take nothing to play a keyboard with a rock group. He says, because all you play is chords. He said, it's not like your Liberace up there. He said, because
right,
time you run through 5 notes, they've already moved on, down through the song. But he liked it. He made a lot of money.
yeah. I
When
remember
he
my college band director talking about the professional players' life out in L.A. They would get they were on like a musicians list,
right,
professional players, and they would get called to a studio, and they would have like an hour rehearsal, and then they would do the recording for like a commercial, and then they got paid. And if they couldn't sight read the music within the hour that they got there and then did the recording, then they never got called again. I mean, you
Right.
talk about some pressure, way to make a living. I mean, they probably made really good money, but um, those studio guys, you have to be fast-witted, you have to be on call, you have to be able to sight read music, be able to, play and it could be difficult music,
Right.
and you got to be able to sit down and play it within an hour of getting the sheet music, and then record it right after an hour-long rehearsal. And
Well, that was like the guy I was just talking about, Mark. He said they might be at the studio at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they're playing backup for you know Casey and Sunshine Band, and then at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, he's playing backup for Reba McEntire.
sure, yeah. Or
And he's
yeah, there's the other life of a pro musician is getting on a bus and heading to the next town, which I'm sure gets old after a year, 2 or 3.
well, he it was always when they were doing cutting albums and things like that, and but he said you had to you. He said they'd give you the sheet, say you're going to be here at 10 o'clock, and we're going to do these songs. So be ready. And he said if he had to stay up all night practicing to be ready, then that's what he had to do. But you know, people look at the glamorous life of these rock bands and stuff like that. There's a lot of hard work going into that.
I remember one of the times my college band director was telling that story about the 1 hour to sight read and perform the music,
Right.
and we had just done a sight reading session with an ensemble there at college. He said, if you're a professional out in LA, you got to be able to play this music within an hour sight reading. And he looked right at me and said, Todd, you would get fired. Because I'm, I probably screwed some of the sight reading up.
I just I played trumpet in band, and I just my heart wasn't in it. You know what I mean? I don't know why I joined the band, but my heart wasn't in it, and I hated practicing.
Hi, Glock 30. Yeah.
Well, listen, we've bored these people. It's been an hour and 3 minutes. Is anybody even
Uh,
still in the group or in the chat?
yeah, I mean, let's see, we got 13 watching now. Yeah, it's gone down. We've
You
lost
know,
several of the people that were watching. Oh, well.
I don't. I guess if you sat down and really worked at it, you could talk about reselling for an hour, but after a while, it'd be a lot of repetition. But hold that back up again. There's a lot of red there now.
Yeah, it turned red, and now it's working its way back. The Dow just went green again. It's
Okay,
crossing back and I mean, it's just the stock markets are pretty much flatlined. It looks this morning. It's
right.
pretty much going sideways.
How about the individual stocks? How are they looking? Still, are
Uh,
they going back and forth
it's
too?
about a half and half up, half down,
Wow.
but nothing's moving a whole lot. All right, folks. We'll be on tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. I don't know if my partner in crime there, Tom, will be on with me tomorrow. We'll see.
I'll try to be.
I don't know
Looking what
what's
he.
going on.
I got a cat that's just like going nuts outside. I thought maybe the bug guy had come to spray around the house, and that was catching his attention. But it's a squirrel look up in a tree looking down at him. All right, Todd. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for coming in and spending time with Todd.
Yeah.
And
Tom,
we'll
you got your eye appointment on Wednesday, so
yeah, I definitely won't be here Wednesday.
he's gonna get one of those bionic eyes, that he can see in the dark and see through clothing at the naked girl bodies
That's
and
just
stuff.
it. I wanted some of them. I wanted an X-ray lens,
X-ray
like
lens for
you
his.
know, like you saw on the back of comic books, the glasses where you could
Yeah,
see.
X-ray specs
Yeah, I
and the
did them. I wanted one of those.
little lightning bolt coming out of it.
Yeah, black and white.
Yeah,
That was back up when all the classifieds were in black and white.
yeah. I remember being in Boy Scouts and we got Boys Life magazine and in the back advertisements at the back of the magazine was always X-ray specs.
Yeah, yeah. They sold a lot of crap in this magazine.
I know they probably every Boy Scout that was my age that was alive had ordered a pair of X-ray specs.
And then when they got them, they were a piece of the cardboard
Yeah,
with little
look,
swirly lines on
yeah.
the lenses.
I think I tried to talk Dad into get me a pair, and he said, "I ain't buying that stupid crap for you."
Because it was, even though it was only like $1, that was a lot of money back in them days.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, you take it for $3, you could go to McDonald's and buy everybody a burger and fries and a drink.
Yep. All
All
right,
right,
folks. Yeah, I
gotta
remember
go.
Dad taking the family to Six Flags in Texas, and family of four, and he said, "I can't believe those tickets cost $20."
Hell, you can't park at Carowinds for I think 35,
Yeah.
and then the tickets are around 50.
All
All
right, folks.
right, bye bye.
Later days.